Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you, wherever you are, whichever part of the pleasant good morning to you. We're from broadcasting from Texas, from Prairie View Recreational Center. I am very, very impressed and amazed. We'll be giving you the action as it unfolds during the commentary, but we see the first delivery there being sent down. The two teams competing today are MetroPlex Tracers and the Michigan Cricket Stars. And I guess in a short while, you'll be having the ticker coming down at the bottom with the scores, the names of the players, the over in progress. We'd all have those things. And but all of that will be coming up. But I was talking a short while ago how absolutely impressed with the gorgeous outfield I'm seeing out there, just about lush green, very, very neatly cut. And I think this is exquisite for cricket. And actually, I'm quite a stranger to cricket in the USA. This is the minor league, just to remind you. Nice delivery, getting some outside movement. That I was just talking about. I've had the chance of visiting so many venues in the United States. Pretty unimpressed, may I say. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Lush green, neatly cut. Players all decked off in their uniforms. And all the 2025 tournament well on the way. Of course, today, my name is Naeem Chan, by the way, bringing you the broadcast. And I'll be accompanied by Delwyn Neblet, who also does commentaries in the Caribbean. So we've been working together over the past years. Delwyn is recently on the scene. So nice movement. Good morning, Delwyn. First of all, welcome to cricket outside of our nation, actually. We're describing a game all the way in Texas. Quite a privilege.
Yeah, good morning, Naim Chan. Definitely a privilege to be here in commentary with you for the minor league cricket tournament. And of course, this game from the Prairie View Cricket Ground in Houston, Texas.
So if you look at the flannels of the players, the shirts that they have on fluttering away, so that means a healthy breeze coming across the ground. Good delivery outside the line of the off stump, just barely missing the outside edge. Absolutely good over here.
Yeah, good start. Shubham, the bowler, exactly what his captain would have wanted him to do in bowling the very first over, minimal runs. And we can see a lot of energy in the field.
So for those people who are strangers to cricket in the USA, this is the minor league, and I'm very impressed with the conditions that I'm seeing, the attire, the physical environment. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Our broadcast team just bringing up the scores there. So no run coming off the first over. Nice start here.
Yeah, excellent start by the Metroplex Tracers. And cricket in the United States, it really is becoming one of the newfound loves. It's a sport that is catching on leaps and bounds, and a lot of representation from persons living within the Caribbean, making the most of the opportunities presented to them to play some cricket in the US, Naim.
And I was pleasantly surprised when I saw quite a few Caribbean names. I know there was a game yesterday between Baltimore Royals and Orlando Galaxy, Baltimore winning that game. They made 172 for 8. Galaxy 158 for 8. And I saw the name of Tejnarayan Chandapal just going down the leg side. And I think, I guess the captains and all the bowlers and the players would have been having their meetings. You want to ill afford going down the leg side unless there's some kind of a trap that you're setting. I see there's a short fine leg for the left-handed batsman. So maybe they've got their plans. As it unfolds, you'll be seeing for yourself. So good to see quite a few of my countrymen also participating in the minor league. Short. So quiet start here, Delvin. I think the batsmen are looking at the pitch. That's another amazing factor in the tournament. A lot of these pitches are turf and not the artificial pitch. So that's a good sign. See the bowler getting some movement. There's a slight wind coming across the ground. So Trump is using that. Just for those people who are not watching the screen, not Mr. Donald Trump, the president of the country, another Trump.
Yeah, looking to get some impetus into the innings, not middling that one, and in the end, straight to the fielder at mid-on.
Beautiful background. And they have that name affixed on the tournament, Eco. And if you look just beyond the parameters of the actual playing area, the sword, you can see the ecosystem there staring at us. Short, tugged away. Let's see if there's anyone down there. It will carry all the way towards the boundary. So the first boundary coming off the innings. And of course, only the second scoring shot, pretty short there. I don't think that Trump is getting right on target. He was hanging down the leg side earlier. This one is short to the right-handed batsman. A gift pulled away down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, well executed shot. And it looks as though these two batters, at least for the first few overs, they're going to be looking to play the ball on its merit. That one way too short, and pretty much a gift for a top order batsman looking to get on the move.
Alam taking strike. Big swipe. Got the inside edge this time. I wonder if they'll be probably challenging for the second run. They do. So quite a nice start for the batting side. I think the first over was right on target. This one swaying about the place a little bit. 7 without loss, first over gone. And they'll be looking for one more delivery correction. They'll be looking at the pitch, as Delvin pointed out. They want to have a perfect idea of the movement. See, there's a nice wind, as I mentioned, so they're getting some movement off the pitch and via the air.
Into the block hold. Good attempted Yorker. Batsman just squeezes that one out for a single, end of the over. After 2, it's 8th without loss.
Over number 3. In the air. He tried to get it on the hop, actually. And that would have been a difficult catch anyway. He was running backwards, and in fact, the ball goes over the boundary ropes. But an uncertain shot, precarious sort of, and taking the upper part of the bat in no man's land. Actually, he was looking for the drive. He was deceived in the air and mounted, but difficult catch.
Yeah, Naim was in the air for some time. Fielder not managing to get a hand on it, but the batsman Alam looking to take advantage of the power play and definitely intended to, just clear that fielder.
Wide delivery. Oh, we'd seen a few of that. I think what Rajani is doing is trying to put the extra effort, and in doing so, he's just spilling one or two.
Yeah, he's had an excellent start, a maiden in his first over, Shubham Ranjani. Now we see him concede his first extra. Just got to remain a bit focused here. In he comes. This one is down the leg side. A chase for the man at fine leg. He slides. And in the end, maybe just a couple of runs. We're going to wait for the signal from the umpire. No signal suggesting runs off the bat. Or has he signaled already, Naim?
But I actually didn't see a signal, but
the scorers would have seen it. So it's a leg by, according to what we're seeing on our screen. Just one in the end.
But I'm really pleasantly surprised at the state of cricket in the United States. And I must have gotten the wrong impression going to the wrong state or states. On the leg side, Rajani not getting it right in over number 2. But it's real magnificent. There was a lot of monies injected into cricket. So Cricket USA, they're doing quite a fine job. But I visited a few of the states where a lot of cricket is being played, but because of the winter season, they're always unable to get the grounds to play. Then I discovered another factor, which I'll tell you in just a short while.
Good attacking shot. Picked up by the fielder at mid-wicket. No run.
We've just received some information, of course, from our broadcast team on the job. They're telling us it's a little overcast. So overcast conditions, and I know Texas and California, all known for very heaty conditions. Good delivery. Just getting the outside edge. He was struggling tentatively, looking to cover up and defend the stumps. It took the outside part of the bat.
Yeah, Naim, the modern game really has evolved to take into consideration the change in conditions, a lot of strategy employed as it relates to forcing batters to hit in the direction that you intend them to hit, hitting against the breeze. Down the track, big swing and a miss. Dot ball, well bowled, Shivam Ranjani.
But just for the initial spill from Ranjani, I think he's a very, very good bowler, heavy concentration. He's coming over the wicket, and I guess he's calculating the wind. He's got a solitary slip, so he's got something up his sleeve, and it's whether Sikaram and Alam can pay attention. And while they do that, they have to be very mindful that the scoreboard has got to keep ticking all the while.
He's going to change his ploy and come around the wicket for the final delivery. And a beautiful shot through extra cover. My. Three-dot deliveries bowling over the wicket in succession, Naeem, and then he chooses to come around to finish off and gets hit for 4. Now, I am definitely a fan of if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Now that's a replay there. Absolutely beautiful shot. Flowing. Nice boundary there. And that's nice to see. You look at cricket, and sometimes, especially if if you have been in the circles of international cricket, or you're quite a big fan looking in at all the games, there is nothing nicer to look than a beautiful cover drive. And I've had the distinct opportunities, may I say, to describe some of the best cover drives that humanity would have witnessed. Those are off the bats of people like Brian Lara from the Caribbean, so many of them, but I'll single him out because of the poetry he puts into his batting and the elegance. That was absolutely a Brian Lara special. Flowing, fluid shot through the offside.
Now going to have a bit of spin introduced into the attack.
So MetroPlex Tracers winning the toss and electing to have Michigan Cricket Stars take first strike. Over number 4.
In comes Budagam into the attack. Looks a very tall spinner. Not quite unlike myself. What can he do to get a breakthrough here?
One of the tallest spinners I think I'd seen. Of course, I did not get to look at Lance Gibbs personally, though he's from my country. I was quite a little boy. But Bruce Yardley, my mind comes around to him. Very tall spinner.
This one is in the air, looking to go leg side. The field is coming around. And well taken. First wicket goes down, Naeem Chan. And the Michigan Cricket Stars find themselves after 3.2 overs on 19 for 1.
Well, we'd seen a few of those from the batsmen where they're either not getting to the pitch of the ball. On that occasion is almost a similar scenario. And so it hits the upper part of the bat, skyrockets, and just giving it away on that occasion. On the few other occasions, it dropped safely, one time in the hands of a man, but running backwards. He was unable to take the catch.
Yeah, good catch by the fielder Trump on the boundary. Ahmad Alam, after getting off to a bit of a start, he has to go for 11 after 15 deliveries.
New batsman, Maqsood. There was a Pakistani player called Asif Masood. He had this unique way of starting his run up where he zigzags a little bit, and quite to the amusement of the crowd. And many of them would have unique ways of starting. I remember the great leg spinner from Pakistan as well, Abdul Qadir, where he does a little zigzag and then jog trots and then wipes the saliva from his mouth onto the ball. In those days, that was quite okay with saliva. That's treading on dangerous grounds now.
Yeah, and I'm a bit of technique sometimes, a bit of superstition as a part of your routine. We see a lot of that being employed by Steve Smith as a batter. His routine is quite unlike any before he faces up to a delivery. Zishan Maqsood in a 3. He's going to be looking to add some momentum to the Michigan Cricket Stars innings. Starts with a dot ball. Good stuff so far for Mr. Budugum. 3 deliveries, 1 wicket. No runs conceded so far. Can he finish strongly, Naim? That's the question. Delivery number 4 comes in. And another dot ball. So he's doing the job for his captain at the moment into over number 4. Michigan not really capitalizing on the power play as they would have liked so far, Naim.
But they haven't been finding their rhythm. We saw one glorious cover drive by Sika Ram. Other than that, many of the deliveries went upwards off the bat, catch not taken on one occasion, and the others dropping in no man's land. So it has not been a commanding start, so to speak, from the Michigan Cricket Stars. But they're watchful. Someone told me the other day, a former international cricketer, he has come to realize that 20 overs is a long time. Look at the intricacies and all the strategies that have been developed and implemented in this version, very short version of the game.
Yeah, it's quite true. A lot of players, they tend to get carried away as it relates to, how much time you actually do have in a T20. A lot of them feel as though there's a need to go after each and every delivery when we see batters the likes of Shea Hope and Babar Azam, who, through conventional stroke play and essentially just playing the ball on its merit, they've become quite successful even in the T20 format.
Well, for the groundsman and the staff there, this is special compliment for you. You've put together quite a beautiful outfield.
Yeah, excellent scenes here in Texas. This one is down the leg side, beats the keeper and into the boundary. 5 additional runs to the total, and he's going to have to re-bowl that one. Not a very good start.
Well, that's one of the things about the T20 version is that you are required to get on target instantly from ball number 1 if you're the fielding side. Of course, the same requirement in a different way for the batting side, where the first 6 overs you should be getting in the vicinity of 60, 80 runs.
A bit of a misfeel here. Yeah, Naim, and you can ill afford these unforced errors because the balance of power tends to shift so quickly and fluctuates so rapidly in a T20 fixture. So you want to be able to do your fundamentals and basics correctly. Don't want to be giving your opposition any freebies.
And some of the instructions are pretty clear, very definitive. Especially coming down at the back end for the bowling side, don't give me a no ball. Don't give me a wide. That's 3 runs. Good delivery. Shaw, I think that's perhaps the best delivery he's sent down in this over. Just 2 deliveries. Just at the absolutely right length. So the batsman becomes indecisive whether to come forward or to go back. As we saw, he was caught in 2 minds. So you're half cocked, you're unsure. I may have retained a slip for just a moment more if I were the captain of the fielding side.
Most definitely. I was just about to speak about that slip. Akhtar Shah looks to be getting a bit of movement and also has a bit of pace about him.
And because of the movement, I thought well, that's my thinking. The captain would have other ideas. Because of the movement you're getting, if Shaw can hold it just outside that line of the off stump, on the off stick going further, and now there we go. Let's have a look at this. I'm doing some remote captaincy here. Good.
And he's bowled him. Well, we call it Naim. Putting in the fielder in close, adding pressure on the batsman. He's got that slip fielder behind his mind and adjusting his shot. Unfortunately, an inside edge, claiming his off stump.
Beautiful delivery. And the thing is, he came across and still didn't cover. Good delivery. And this is a very impressive over.
Yeah, this is what you do when you are attacking as a captain, Naim. He could have went aggressively outside of the off stump for that delivery had it not been for the slip fielder. So I really do feel as though the change in the field, just the intent being to that wicket there in favor of the MetroPlex.
I think he came across a little late also and was beaten for pace because somewhere underneath, I want to believe that ball crept and scuttled along, struck the off stick out.
Score now 25 for 2. Akhtar Shah doing the job. 4 deliveries so far, 5 runs conceded, and the important wicket.
Well, this is not. This is a very good captaincy on 2 occasions. One, when Trump opened the bowling, he was not on target. He's been taken off. So it's a thinking captain. And then we just spoke about that solitary slip because of the movement that the bowler was getting. Now I see 2 slips for the new batter. And because the version or the format is so limited and so short, if you've got the advantage, you have to go with the killer instinct, not letting up the batsman get a chance. Absolutely. They must be put on the constant pressure all the while.
Yeah, for sure. Too often we see oppositions have teams on the ropes and then they just kind of relinquish that pressure. This one, it's very wide, even bordering a no ball. Nonetheless, the umpire signals that it is in fact just a wide.
I haven't seen a wide so wide. That's like, should have been 4 wides, I think. Could have gone on another ground adjacently and got a batsman out there as wide as well.
It looked to have landed just on the pitch because, of course, if it was out of those dotted lines, it should have been called a no ball.
Beauty, Shaw. Good line, good length for most of the over that we've seen so far. He's been right on target. And I don't think he's calculating to have steamy deliveries. He's working on control. And this is good stuff coming from Shaw.
Yeah, just about that test match length there. Looking to bring those 2 slip fielders into play. Akhtar Shah, can he pick up the wicket here? Batsman drives, he misses. Umpire signals wide. But that's exactly what he's trying to do, Naim.
He's trying to get as close as possible to the bat. And in doing so, with the effort and the wind he's going into, that one just swayed a little extra outside the line of the off stump. But good first over. He's got one more delivery, legal delivery remaining.
Outside the line of the off stump and a dot ball to end the over. Excellent over, Akhtar Shah, picking up a wicket and conceding just 7 runs after 5 overs. The Michigan Cricket Stars, they're 27 for 2.
If you notice, Delvin, the last delivery came back into the right-handed batsman. So Shaw is getting it to go away from the right-hander as well as come in. That one cut back from outside the line of the off stump and came very close to the batsman.
Definitely a crafty bowler, and we would have seen that he's got the variations, even in those first 6 deliveries, going into his bag of tricks and a successful start to his spell. Looks like Akhilesh Budugam is going to get a second over. First over, a maiden. He's wearing the number 100 on his back. I wonder if that is something that he usually does, or is it a momentous occasion for him as he comes into bowl? This one is tugged into the leg side. Quick single.
Michigan is supposed to be having a very formidable team. And I've seen some names who've played a lot of cricket and who are on the watch list, so to speak.
Kiran Ved on strike. Dot ball. Budagam on the mark so far. He's into his second over. Just one run conceded off of his bowling. Tight stuff here, Naim Chan.
Struck on the pad. I got a feeling that that was going down the leg side. Good decision there from the umpire. Plus, the batsman was on the front foot. So, carrying the distance, expanding or extending the distance between the stumps and the pad by going forward.
That's a beauty. Yeah, the previous delivery that warranted the appeal may have just pitched outside the line of the leg stump as well. That one just jumping outside of the line of the off stump.
Good cricket. Good cricket. Nice stabbing shot. They were off for the run in a flash. That's the technique. The field is short. So you've got to move and move quickly and make that decision. Good fielding, good return, good cricket.
Yeah, dot balls are not your friends. You got to be able to rotate a strike even when you're not finding the boundaries. So very good running.
Sikaram is one of the top batsmen in the team. Abhinav Sikaram. They also have this player, Kenjigi Nostush. I hope I'm calling his name correctly.
6 overs have been completed. Not the most electrifying start, but they've still got just about 8 wickets intact, the Michigan Cricket Stars. What do you reckon is going to be a good total, or one that the Michigan Cricket Stars will be happy with here today, batting first, Naim?
Well, in most T20s, you look, unless it's a low-scoring game where you have issues with the pitch, but I think 150 should be on your mind, and then going upward will be bonus. Nothing below 150, 180 might be a fighting score, or if, of course, you've got the bowling artillery as well. But no one wants to make 100 or below 100.
Yeah, proceedings have been a bit pedestrian so far, but we know most sides can make up for it in the back end. The last 5 overs or so, once they keep wickets intact, as this one is driven through the offside. A sweeper comes around, and it looks as though they picked up 2. Good running once again on that occasion.
Shaw had a magnificent first over. He's coming back, and of course the captain will be in a assessment mode, where he's wondering if Shaw is one of his top bowlers, he probably got to bring him back at the late end or the back end of the bowling innings.
Looking for effort, looking for pace, and on this occasion, lacking control, a bit too wide, and signaled accordingly by the umpire.
Well, we saw the last game with the Warriors when they had a bad start, and then all of a sudden, with Romario Shepherd, lots of no balls and wides, and consecutively too. They were all struck for sixes. Nice control. This one was up at a very good length, popping on the batsman. He was turning the wrist on it. So I think he controlled that very well. Could have been struck somewhere in the tummy as well.
Yeah, Akhtar Shoaib bowls a heavy ball. Might have just rushed the batsman a bit. 4 runs off of this, his second over so far. 33 runs on the board. A run rate of 5.21. They're going to want to progressively get that closer up to somewhere about 8, 9.
But the good thing is that they have a right hand, left hand combination. They should utilize that in circumstances when things are getting extremely tight to rotate the strike, pierce it in the gaps, get the ones, get the twos, convert, and use that to build the score gradually while you get your sight in. There's a man down there. But in circumstances like these, you find yourself in a precarious position. You're back slightly against the wall, score very low, overs eating away. This is over number 7 already. So you change gears, change plan. Let's mobilize to get it between the gaps and pick up the singles and convert 1 to 2s until you must get a slack delivery here or there. Close run, but that's the idea. I don't think they ended up getting it.
Sent back by his partner, and they're having a bit of a disagreement about that. And it looks as though the fielding side is celebrating Naim. Looks as though he's short of his ground. And a big mix-up here. Just speaking about their running between the wickets, what have the Michigan Cricket Stars done here? It's a big blunder. It looks as though Kian Vade is going to have to go.
I would have loved to see a replay on that. The thing is, who had the right to call? And then you know who was wrong and who is right. Because it's a very close single. And Sikaram was looking in that direction, and accordingly he guided. Now that's the batsman's call. Very unfortunate. I don't think that Sikaram was prepared to go for the run.
Yeah, it was Kiran Vade's call. His partner not interested. Gives him the royal send back, and now he's got to make his way back into the dugout.
Well, if you're not okay with the run, you should incessantly be reminding the batsman who took the strike, no, no, no. So you have a measure of certainty. But while all of that is happening, you've got a few split seconds. And what Vade was doing is he kept charging down. I don't think Sikaram was like in an incessant way sending him back.
Yeah, good piece of fielding by Shubham Ranjani in collaboration with the wicketkeeper Trump.
So apart from that catch, which was put down earlier, and it was a difficult chance, so you can excuse that fielder. But apart from that, the fielding has been quite on target. The bowling in particular, sure, but he himself has spilled a few wides unnecessarily. So the fielding has been on top in all directions and perspective. Because having the batting side 3 down for 34 in over number 7, by any circumstance, you're on top of the game.
Most definitely. MetroPlex Tracers quite happy with their performance so far in the field. This one is tucked into the leg side. It's going to be just a single. And the order of the day is going to be to maintain this pressure. Teams definitely looking to establish their presence early in this tournament. So it's good to have a few wins on their belt earlier on. A lot of these games that end up going down to the wire, they come back to haunt you in the latter stages. So when you have firm command, as the Tracers have now, you do not want to relinquish that command, Naim Chan.
He was dragging away outside the line of the leg stump, looking to give himself extra space on the offside to go for the cover drive, but the ball actually hugged him closer than he expected. End of 7, 35 for 3.
Good 7 overs so far. Loving the minor league cricket action. Remember, this game is being played at the Prairie View Ground in Houston, Texas. Second day of action in this year's tournament.
Yes, they had a match there yesterday. Baltimore Royals against Orlando Galaxy. The Royals mustered 172, and the Galaxy squad replied with 158. And for the Galaxy, Tejnarayan Chandapol, and just echoing his name because we know him so well, he picked up 3 wickets. Change of bowling.
We're going to have some more spin here. In comes Tumala. And his job is simple. He's coming into the attack after his previous bowlers would have already established a presence in this match. So he can bowl with his tail up.
You're looking at these names of the cricketers in the US. Ah, beautiful shot. This is going to carry. No. Probably picked up 2 runs there. Salim is a very elegant looking batsman. Saw him nicking one off the pads earlier. Very neatly, very elegantly. It's always a beauty looking at cricketers who are elegant, and I'm focused more on the international scene. And I guess there's so much scope from this minor league getting there eventually. But it's always a beautiful thing to look at people like Babar Azam, Zahir Abbas from the 1970s from Pakistan. A repeat of what happened earlier. So we'll just bring a single. Lawrence Rowe of the West Indies. I just had one glimpse of him as a little boy. And then, of course, more contemporary times, Carl Hooper and Brian Lara. But there's so many great, elegant, poetic batsmen across the globe over the decades.
Yeah, and man, in any format of cricket, there really is room for those kinds of batters, those elegant batters that you mentioned, batters who play the ball late, play the ball on its merit. You look to go into V earlier on, exposing the full face of your bat.
It's a nice flowing shot there from Sikaram. I was talking about the names of many of the cricketers, not in Texas alone, California, but New York, Minnesota, some of the places I've meddled with a little bit. But you know that there's a big presence of Indians, Indian nationals, Pakistani nationals invading the cricketing space. That should carry all the way. I think he got that in the middle of the bat. It's gone there, straight over the top. It's good to free up this tension. There's too much of tension in the batting side at the moment because they're under pressure. So nice shot there from Sikaram. Let's have another look at it. Short. Too short, Tomala. And hey, take that.
Yeah, just as we were speaking of the classy batters and the good timers, Sikaram utilizing a bit of power on this occasion, too short and obliging to hit that one beyond the ropes.
Good comeback also from Tamala. Absolutely beaten there, Sikaram. Searching outside the line of the off stump, missing, and just not the outside edge being taken. Good comeback. End of 8, 46 for 3.
Getting ready for over number 9. We're going to have Kenjige in for his first over. Just finalizing his field placement here. Salim on 4, Sikaram, he's been there for a while now on 15 off of 13. A run rate of 5.75 after 8. Not exactly what they would have been hoping for as at the beginning of today's proceedings. Nonetheless, it could have been worse. They've got to deal with the situation at hand, and they've got to be sensible. These two, I reckon, they're going to want to bat as deeply as possible, probably up to until over number 15, and then it's going to be a full-blown attack.
Well, they've struck the nail there, I think, on the head. I think this would be a very important partnership between Salim and Sikaram because they seem to have the basic elements in their batting techniques and temperament. That's the essential word. Sikaram, in particular, has been pretty picky with the shots he's executing, and he looks pretty settled now. And Salim is looking very settled as well. So, from a batting side perspective, they need not to lose a wicket. And here is where people like Kanjigi, because of his reputation, can come in, pick up a wicket, put back the batting side under some more pressure. Opening the face of the bat. Now that man was deliberately put there for the square cut, taking the top part of the bat.
Down the ground and straight into the hands of the fielder. Quite an easy catch in the end. Kenjigi picking up a wicket in his very first over. And this is what he's known for doing. The Michigan Cricket Stars tottering. 8.3 overs, and they've lost the 4th wicket.
I think that's quite a fatal blow for the batting side. I just mentioned just a few seconds ago that Sikaram looks pretty settled. And he came down, I think he clobbered that over the top, rail over the boundary, but not to be. Easy catch, sitter. And that partnership is what I was talking about. That's the partnership that the fielding side wanted to break, the MetroPlex Tracers.
Yeah, Sikaram looking to muscle that one when he really should have been looking to just continue to work it around for a bit longer, establish a bit of a presence with Salem. You know, from a management perspective, Naeem, when you're going to pick your side, you look into your top 5 batters to get you the majority of the runs. So it really was an important partnership that Kenjigi was able to break. And now, you know, we're getting closer to that tail, and it's less likely that the batters to come are going to be able to propel you to a total that you're going to be happy with after your 20 overs are completed.
It's a terrible, terrible shot there. Let's see what Patak can do, what he brings with him to the table. But if you can't score the boundaries, you've got to pick up. You must keep the scoreboard ticking and just keep milking the bowling. And then is when the fielding side would say, listen, I need 2 short men to save that, the singles and the twos. And you start to confuse the fielding side. So when they bring in those 2 people, I'm going to go over the top. I'd seen some classy innings from over the years, looking at cricket and describing it. And mostly, of course, I have a bias for matches in the West Indies because here's where we live. But I'd seen Guyana, for example, in extremely difficult conditions, and sometimes the West Indies. I saw Chandapal and Hooper milk, literally milk the bowling, getting like 50 singles, ones and twos, and changed around the whole scenario of the game.
It's a big appeal. The umpire shakes his head and then raises the finger. 2 wickets in 2 deliveries. Ken Jigi. He's on the move here, Naeem Chand. And half of the side have already been dismissed for the Michigan Cricket Stars.
Well, when I was looking in and reading into the teams last evening and early this morning, Kenjigi was one of the top name. I think he plays for the Major League. He's one of those players. But look at his delivery. I think this one came back a little bit. Yeah. For one moment, I thought it may have been beating the leg side, but look at the animated conduct of the players. Like they were very, very sure. The umpire looked at it for a while, then elected to say he's in the best position, I guess. And said to his mind, I think I got to give this one out.
Yeah, the umpire did seem quite confident there. Looks from the naked eye to just have straightened enough to be given out. Well bowled Kenjigi once again. Here it is, pitching in line, and yeah, just about straightening enough to at least clip that leg stump. Umpire's call at worst, so good bowling here from Kenjigi. Is what you expect from your star bowler rising to the occasion early on in the season. And this is the hat-trick delivery. Can we see our very first hat-trick in the minor league cricket 2025? In comes Kenjigi, and well defended by Rapala. Evades the hat-trick. Over number 9 comes to an end. The score, Michigan Cricket Stars 47 for 5. Really has been a good bowling performance so far by the MetroPlex Tracers. Taking the initiative, keeping that pressure. Really has been a team effort so far. Maybe 1 or 2 minor blunders nonetheless. Good enough for them to be feeling quite content and quite happy with their performance so far. They're going to be looking to finish strongly as well. No letting up. That's my appeal to the team if I'm the captain.
I like the flight that Tamala is giving the ball. He's not afraid because in this format of the game, Rashid, you name all the spinners around who have played at the highest level in the IPL. It's going to be just a single. But spinners are afraid in this format to give the ball here. They push it through and push it very quickly, almost flat. But look at Tamala, and I think he's encouraged by the approach of the batsmen. They're not aggressive enough. They're not coming down to meet him, which he would like anyway. They're just staying there and paddling around. And so he's encouraged to give it a lot of air. And in the process, he's deceiving them.
Good bowling by Tamala once again. And even so far in the CPL, you know, we see the likes of Rakeem Cornwall. When he does off a flight, he's able to garner a lot of success as well.
Yes, he gives the ball a lot of air. But even you look at Imran Tahir and these fellas, they really gingerly actually run in. Good delivery again.
Yeah, Waka Salam Keel.
So you've got some dangerous men at the IPL level. And so you give it a lot of air. I'm coming there for you. Hold on.
3-dot ball so far. This one a bit wide of the off stump. The batsman Salim is cutting. Not able to middle that one. And another dot ball to Mala. Really looks in good rhythm here.
Good bowling, Tamala. And he's so encouraged because no one is taking him to task. So they're sitting there like sitting ducks, and I'm going to come at you all the while. I'm going to tempt you, give it more air. I'm surprised that Tamala has not had a forward short leg to put pressure on the batsman, prodding forward, getting the top edge. End of over. That's the halfway mark. Am I right?
That's right. 10 overs completed.
So the bowlers are having their way, and you look at the scores. Alam 11, Maksud for a duck, Ved for 8, Sikaram 15, Hassan for a duck. Not an enterprising read at all.
Into over number 11.
Well, we're not accustomed seeing much or many of that. Misfielding and picking up some extra runs that shouldn't have been granted. And you've got the people on their back foot. It's the kill. As I said, because they're not going over the top, maybe just introduce another close-up catcher. If you notice, everything is on the defensive.
Yeah, they really are on the back foot here. The Michigan Cricket Stars being strangled by these Metroplex tracers. They've been given the bare minimal, Naim.
A lot will be on Salim's shoulders. He's got just 6 off a lengthy 13 deliveries. Well, judging on the previous shot with Sikaram, I thought this wouldn't have cleared the boundary ropes, but he timed it well. Off the meat of the bat, actually. Nice shot there.
Yeah, good shot from Ramrapala. Down the ground is always a good option. Playing with the full face of the bat. And 6 runs added to your team's total. Really the first bad ball, or the first ball that really did give the batter that much room to free his arms we've seen from Kenjigi. He's been immaculate so far prior to that. And just a bit of a lag with these stats being displayed on the screen. Pretty sure over number 11 has just about been completed. And we're getting ready for over number 12 being bowled by Tumala.
But it's circumstances like these, you need a Romario Shepherd kind of guy who can disfigure a bowling or at least attempt to. But the fielding side needs to go on the back foot a little bit. The pressure is continuing on the batting side, and that needs to be changed. Look at his scoring rate. It's gone below 5. All right, you're in some difficulties. You, the batsman, you want to wriggle your way out. But while you're wriggling your way or wiggling your way out, the overs are being completed. And so in a jiffy, 20 overs up, you're still in 50 at 60 or 70.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is to be bowled out within your allotment of 20 overs. You've already lost five of your top order. So it's going to be an uphill climb for the remainder of these batters. With that being said, they can't just throw the wicket away. They must try as best they can to get to some kind of respectability as it relates to a total.
Down the ground, I think this is going to clear. Yes, it does. Good shot. I was just about to say that Salim, I was counting the amount of deliveries he has faced. He looked like Sikaram, but Sikaram got out. It seems as soon as I speak about these things, the batsmen get out. So I hope I'm not talking too quickly for Salim. But he's the settled guy. Now, is that a repeat in a similar fashion, or
This
that's
is the replay?
replay? That's the replay.
Yeah, quite the respectable shot there from Salim. The Michigan Cricket Stars are going to need a lot more of that. How many will they be able to achieve? Will it be enough? Still a lot of time remaining here in this fixture. Minor league cricket action in the United States, in the state of Texas, at the Prairie View Ground in Houston. More from Kenjigi. Starts with a dot ball. This one is pulled into the leg side. Field is coming around. Will they get two? No, they settle for one. I reckon the running between the wickets could have been a bit better on that occasion, Naeem Chan, nonetheless.
Yes, I was commenting about that earlier on, where I thought that the batsmen, I mentioned that several times, if your back is against the wall, you need to convert ones into twos. You need to be off the mark and just keep that scoreboard ticking. So while you're waiting to recover, you're scoring.
They may just be wanting to minimize risks at this stage, having already lost 5 wickets. Nonetheless, you've got to maximize your opportunities to score. If a run is on offer, you've got to take it 10 times out of 10. It's in your best interest. So, pulled into the leg side once again, mid-wicket, comes around. One more in the end. Really do need to start picking up some boundaries. But they're not taking anything away from the bowlers. They've been exceptional. Really have done their jobs quite proficiently here so far. Who wants some more? Who wants to get some more wickets? Who is going to counterattack them from a batting perspective? There's a big appeal. The bowler and the wicketkeeper are celebrating, and the umpire's finger eventually, a bit of a delay, it goes up, confirming that that is in fact wicket number 6 and wicket number 3 in favor of Kenjigi.
Well, up to last night, I was reading about Kengiji to have a little idea of the teams, and his name was featuring all the way. So good stuff. You can see the experience coming out there. Taking the outside edge. That ball was going away from the right-handed batsman. Absolutely deceived. The umpire really took an extraordinarily long time to give that decision. He wanted to be absolutely sure. So more trouble here. The Michigan Cricket Stars, they're just wobbling away in this game. I think the MetroPlex Tracers made the right decision to invite the Michigan Cricket Stars to take first strike. It has paid dividends, and I think Shaw was pretty exceptional. You can see the quality in his bowling, the thinking. It's all about having the mind working. And now Kenjigi, great example. I think they've had a great morning outside, the Metroplex Tracers. And so, good decision, good cricket. And the Michigan Cricket Stars wobbling away, as I said. Now, when you look at the scoreboard, you see almost 13 overs gone, and you've got 68, but you've lost 6 wickets. So you need a big chunk of scoring here now. And the next thing that the batting side should try to do is to endure to the end. They must bat all the overs and utilize and muster more singles. I think the running between the wicket has not been that much of a delight.
Yeah, they've lost 1 wicket via run out. A couple of twos on offer that they did not take, as this one is swinging away from the right-hander outside the line of the off stump.
That was a great delivery a short while ago. Really a pathetic looking performance here from the Michigan Cricket Stars. And I'm looking at the lineup. And so far, Salim and Sikaram were the 2 batsmen where you're spotting the talent. And because of that, you want to depend on them, or to say in your mind, these are the 2 batsmen that seem to be very important to the batting side. So Salim is there on 15. He's got some work to do. He's faced up to 18 deliveries. That was the one going away from the right-handed batsman. I don't think that Rapala picked that one up at all.
Yeah, Ahmad Alam, usually a good batsman at the top of the order as well, only able to score 11 today. It's been difficult for the Michigan Cricket Stars, all on account of some excellent bowling from the Metroplex Tracers. It started in the very first over.
I think I've seen some very good controlled bowling. Shaw, Kenjigi, I think most of them, they've been quite on target. And for starters, I think that Metroplex, they've got quite a formidable bowling attack. On target, swinging the ball both ways, many of the bowlers.
Yeah, Shubham Ranjani started with a maiden in over number 1.
Bit of frustration here, Delvin. You can see it in Rapala. I'm not getting this ball away. I've got to do something, so I'm going to slash a bit.
And it's pressure that is building every delivery that they are denied the opportunity of scoring a boundary, it's just going to continue to add to the pressure that the Michigan Cricket Stars are experiencing here. It's going to call for some level head thinking because, again, you can easily be bowled out within your allotment of 20 overs, and that is one of the cardinal sins of cricket. So you've got to be wise at this stage. The top order batsmen have lost the wickets, but you've got to think we must survive. We must bat 20 to get us as many as we possibly can.
Nice bit of running. But that's for starters. Immediately, we need to bat out all of our overs. That's number one. So you try not to lose wickets. But while you're doing that, you would, of course, have in mind at the back of your mind, I've got to get that scoreboard ticking. So while we're doing that, trying to consolidate, we also have to score. So somewhere along in the equation, somebody's got to take a chance somewhere, or else you'll be struggling. You'll be keeping your wickets, you'll be batting out 20 overs, but you're still below 100. So when they started off, my thinking was a minimum of 150, and everything over that will be bonus. So you've got to change all of that thinking now. If you're on the batting side, you've got to think at least 100. You've just got to get past that 100. Very important.
Kenjigi, to end his spell, starts with a dot ball. It really is something that goes into a lot of the preparation of modern day batters, working on an escape shot. How am I going to be able to get off strike when under pressure? How can I pick up a boundary when under pressure?
Well, the frustration is actually very evident in the body language of Rapala, but he's moved to 13. He's showing disgust with what he's seeing on the scoreboard, and he's trying. He's not a big guy, broad shoulders, quite diminutive-looking cricketer. Salim has got the shoulders, but Salim is concentrating on repairing the damage, staying there as long as possible. So he's not flowing. Rapala is trying.
Yeah, these guys definitely put in a lot of work on the training grounds. What's required here today, though, Naim, is for that practice to transcend here. A lot of mad situations in the nets. What can you do here in a real life match environment?
I think I said Salim a short while ago. Correction. I was referring to Nawaz. So both of them pretty fresh, relatively, so to speak. Rapala's faced up 19 deliveries. So he's now the man that has got to take charge here. Trying, and trying. You made an effort, Rapala. Goodbye.
Looking to force the issue there. Bit of an inside edge. And then onto the stumps. Kenjigi, he's having a field day here in Texas. It's wicket number 4. Just 14 runs he would have conceded so far. Quite immaculate bowling. Quite special here this afternoon, Naim Chan.
Absolutely. You could have seen it actually from the first over. They're apart from Sikaram and to an extent Salim. No one looked as though they could have commanded a position to take the batting side to a decent score. No one. They were all prodding, searching to keep their wickets, and on many occasions, the flaws. So that's why 7 wickets are down. So it's just a pity from a perspective of the batting side that Sikaram had to go so early, and Salim did not stay around long enough as well.
Yeah, it just seems to be one of those days where everything is going in the favor of the Metroplex Tracers. Started by winning the toss, choosing to bowl. Shubham Ranjan in his very first over maiden, and that really did set the tone for the rest of his bowlers who really did support and picking up wickets as well as drying up the runs, has now found the Michigan Cricket Stars in the precarious position of 73 for 6.
Just to remind you, we are broadcasting from the Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, Texas. Good morning again. Or if you're from a far flung country with the time zones different, good afternoon. So we see the field being brought in here. I think this has been good thinking by the captain. He's been mobilizing his troops, changing around, trying to find solutions, and he's been finding them.
Yeah, quite aggressive in his approach. Must commend him on that. We saw him employ the slips when his fast bowlers were getting the early movement. We're seeing him bringing the field closer to support his spinner bowling with his tail up.
That was the inside edge, actually, and dragging it onto his stumps. So Kengiji, there you go. 4 for 14. Extraordinary. I think basically we'd seen some good bowling from the MetroPlex Tracers. They have been doing pretty well. Ranjani had a decent opening spell also. Shaw, another good one for the future. He's been getting it to go away and in to the right-handed batsman.
Yeah, when Johnny has been applying the pressure. 10 dot balls from his 12 deliveries so far. In he comes. And Nawaz just waiting on that one. Plays it beneath his eyes. And it's a dot ball.
But when you look at the highest level of T20, which would be the IPL, and you see 5 overs remaining, but the batting side, they're pretty low down. That's such a long bit of overs and deliveries. You'd see them changing around. Batsmen would come in, hit you around the park, and changing the equation. Now, can the Michigan Cricket Stars do that? I doubt it. I've not seen any full-blooded drive except for a few well-executed, authentic-looking cricketing shots from Sikaram and Salim, and that spanned for a very short time.
And most T20 sides will back themselves to get 60 or 70 in those last 5 overs consistently. And in selecting their team and picking their sides, they've got the mechanics to do so. They've got role players batting at 7 and even X-factor players coming in at 8 in certain sides that can definitely take the game away from the opposition in the last few overs.
Beauty, Rajani. We'd seen him done that several times in his earlier stint, getting it to go away and come back in. Good stuff here, Rajani. Very windy morning, Delwyn. Look at the flannels of the cricketers. Just fluttering away. I know Texas, good morning. Sympathies to all the victims of the recent floods.
And I hope that the Michigan Cricket Stars would be paying attention to this breeze, because looks as though they're going to be well short of a total that they are in fact happy with. So they're going to have to try to use the conditions in their favor when they actually go to bowl. Force the MetroPlex Tracers batters to hit into their desired areas, hitting against the wind and hitting to the bigger side of the ground. Another dot ball. He's the master of dot deliveries, is he? Shubham Ranjani. 15 dot balls so far in his spell. Can he complete his second maiden in this match? He started with one in over number one. 5 dot balls in a row so far. This one is in and just gets past him for a single. So the maiden is spoiled nonetheless. Beautiful bowling once again from Shubham Ranjani, just conceding a single, and the score 74 for 7 off of 16 overs. An additional 24 deliveries to come. How many can the Michigan Cricket Stars accumulate off of these 24 deliveries? They may still be hoping to get above 120, which means the asking rate is going to begin just about 6 runs per over. And that really would be just saving a bit of face here this afternoon. Didn't do the job with the bat today. They're into their bowlers and the tail. What can they do? Of course, we love this game of cricket because, as we oftentimes hear, it is the game and the sport of glorious uncertainty. So even with a low score on the board so far, we've still got a lot of time in this game. And who knows at this stage what the final result will in fact be. Akhtar Shah now into the attack. First delivery, just a single. Also bowling pretty well so far, 2.1 overs. And just conceding the 13 runs and picking up the important wicket. An attempted run, he's sent back by his partner. Good send back in the end.
But the batsmen have got to find a formula to get singles. If they're not going to get sixes and fours, well, I mean, what's the purpose of staying out there? You have to find a way, whether it's cheeky singles, but you've got to get your head on, get them in the gaps. You can convert ones to twos sometimes.
This one is a top edge, and the keeper is taking it safely. Well bowled, Akhtar Shah. And he picks up his second wicket. It's been wickets galore here for almost all of the MetroPlex Tracers bowlers, and well-deserved wickets. They really have stuck to the areas, Naeem. And as it relates to coming out with a plan, they really have executed well.
Yeah, they have. And I'm actually trying to avoid looking at this sheet I'm making jottings on, because it does make for nice reading. Alam 11, Maksud Duck, Ved Duck. No, he made 8, correction. Sikaram 15, Hassan for Duck, Salim 15, Rapala 13. If you go tell someone that the top scorer scored 15 runs for your side, they'll probably laugh and walk away from you. It's just a pity that Sikaram and Salim did not go on for a long time. And when you look at this sword, how beautiful it is, manicured. And so you're thinking that people can get runs easily here if you're a good stroke player. It's not to be. They've been punishing from early until now. There was perhaps a brief respite at that time when Sikana and Salim were batting, where a bit of runs, we saw a couple of sixes, maybe 2 boundaries, 1 or 2 cheeky singles, and you were believing the tension was easing. And quite shortly after that, Sikaram went, and that was the flow, constant going and coming from the pavilion. It will be a gigantic effort from the batting side when their time comes to bowl for them to make any kind of impression here. 73 is not a lot of runs, but this is the game of cricket. And I don't think that the batting side, when they get to bowl, they can calculate in any decent way that the pitch is going to help them. The pitch has played quite even, Stevens. There is some movement. You've got to be a good bowler too to deduce that movement, like Shaw, like Ken Jiggy. Other than that, it's quite an okay pitch. Because I was looking whether they would have the rising deliveries, the one that is scuttling along the ground. We haven't seen that.
Into the body, and just a dot ball once again on that occasion. The other factor to be considered, Naim, is that when the Metroplex Tracers actually go out to bat, they're going to know exactly what they need. So they can now allow themselves to just play the match situation, not being under a lot of pressure. You don't have that many runs to chase, and it's not going to require anything foolish. Allow good deliveries to get you out. Don't throw your wicket away.
In the air, let's see. This is going to land safely. And look at this venue. There are several. Venue one has got, I think, probably a few pitches. Well, so this is in the Prairie View Cricket Complex. I must congratulate the authorities to the grass so low, because in the other states that I visited, in some states you're not allowed to clip the grass that low. 2 inches above the ground, three, that's it. And that's not conducive for cricket.
Looking to drive down the ground to mid-off. It goes, and it's just a single.
And the other positive I'm looking at here, Delvin, is the fact that this is a developmental tournament that is going to feed the major league with new finds and talent that they're spotting from this one. So it's a big investment. It's nationwide. I think it's about 26 teams from 20 cities. This got to cost a lot of money. And so, from every perspective, you must congratulate a country that is not blessed with sunshine throughout the year, like what we may have in the West Indies, and to know that they can muster this standard of cricket. I think they need and deserve congratulations.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's a lot of cricket being played around the world. These tournaments really do give exposure to young emerging talent. We've seen the likes of Kenar Lewis and most recently Kareem Agor, who played a lot of cricket in the US, getting the opportunity to play in leagues such as the CPL. So the fact that you've got facilities conducive to good cricket is, in fact, an advantage. So long may they continue to create the opportunities for young and aspiring cricketers to grow and thrive.
But I always looked at cricket in the United States and I wasn't impressed because I wasn't seeing a program that could muster young talent. The operative word being young. They're going to pick up a couple of runs, just a single. And I made this point at one of the conferences they had. That was many, many years ago, sometime around 2000, that I'm not seeing a focus on young talent and trapping the talent from the school level. So the minor league, the discussions for the major and minor league, I understand, started all the way back in 2018. And so the inaugural tournament started in 2021. And this is good for cricket, what I'm seeing. Frustration, good ball there, Trump. saw the batsman coming down the pitch, and then just pulled it back a little bit, and he was trapped in no man's land. Had to adjust the stroke. Good thinking. Now, Trump didn't enjoy a good opening bowler when we saw him first, but he has come back.
Yeah, and speaking of thinking, Naim, and good thinking at that, I like proactive cricketers. So if I'm the openers for the MetroPlex Tracers, I'm thinking about my approach in this run chase, as this one is stumped into the offside just for a single. Too many times we see a team batting first, making a total that is below par, and the opposition actually giving them a chance to get back into the game by their batting approach and, how unwise, their shot selection might have been. So what you need is for these MetroPlex Tracers to go out and bat in a disciplined manner, allow the Michigan Cricket Stars to fight their way back into the game if they choose to do so, but you do not give them the opportunity to just get back into the game by playing poor shots.
Trump, I think he was guilty initially when I saw him for the first over, and it's kind of repeating it. That was really a nuisance of a ball. You've been going now for your third over and slipping out of your hands and spilling it so frequently. Expecting your side has the upper hand at the moment. Well, if Michigan Cricket Stars are hoping that when their turn comes to bowl, good delivery, good comeback. So if they're hoping for the pitch to help them when their time comes around to bowl, I think that'll be wishful thinking. This pitch is not a devil's advocate in any way. Just looking back at the tournament 2021, that tournament was won by Silicon Valley Strikers. 2022, Seattle Thunderbolts. 2023, Dallas Mustangs. In the block hole, good delivery. And 2024, Chicago Kingsmen. So we're well on our way since yesterday into the 2025 edition of the minor league. 18 overs gone, 81 for 8.
Not a bad over from Matthew Trump. Still not able to pick up a wicket. Still going at an economy rate of less than 6 runs per over, which is good in any T20 affair. Of course, we've got 2 Trumps on this Tracer side. The wicketkeeper, as well as the fast bowler. 2 overs to come. Michigan Cricket Stars, they find themselves on 81 for 8. How many more can they get off of these remaining 12 deliveries? In comes Akhtar Shah. He's been brilliant. This one into the leg side. Picked up. It's handsomely hit for a maximum. And 6 well-needed runs in favor of the Michigan Cricket Stars. These boundaries have been few and far in between. Nonetheless, welcome in over number 19.
That's it, Nawaz. Somewhere along the line, you've got to take a chance. It's coming down to crunch time. You have 2 wickets standing. They should try as hard as possible to get over that 100 mark. And not just square 100 or 99, 105, 104. How much did he get hold of that? Let's wait. It's gone into the boundary. Nice welcome change around here.
Yeah, after bowling 3 very good overs, his final over is off to a bad start. The first one just a bit offline into the pads of Nawaz. And picked up quite handsomely for a six. The second one, a bit too short on that occasion. And Nawaz looks to be a good player both on the front foot and the back foot on that occasion, pulling quite handsomely, picking up 10 runs off of the first two balls of over number 19.
Whipped away nicely. And it got a packed leg side field there. That's why I see this batsman, the captain, also is always thinking. Congratulations, Nawaz. You're now officially the highest scorer at 17, 18 now. The highest scorer in the Michigan Cricket Star side in this match.
Yeah, the Michigan Cricket Stars, they've had better days as it relates to their batting performance. Every run still counts, and runs on the board. We know how much pressure chasing can be.
Really a nice windy morning. It has been like this for the entire day so far. We had overcast conditions early in the morning. This is not an impressive over. Shaw has been one of the picks that I've found, but he's tottering at this time. He's gone for 29 in 3.4. 29 runs, picked up 2 wickets, was right on target earlier on, his first 2 overs.
Yeah, just 13 runs in his first 3 overs prior to this one, and this one has already gone for 14. Well, might have been just about 15 runs off of his first 3.
Wow, that one cut back really appreciably from outside the off stump. Nawaz was in all sorts of trouble.
This is what we would have seen earlier. High pace and a lot of movement from Akhtar Shah. Really does look to be everything of a strike bowler.
And as I said, he was getting the ball earlier on to go in and out to the right-hander. We saw that one coming back in.
And finishes with a dot ball. Completes his spell. Did pick up 2 important wickets. Final over a bit expensive. He finishes on 29 for 2. And now we've got the final over to come. Michigan Cricket Stars still below 100. We're going to want to surpass that run barrier. Just as a psychological hump to overcome. But really, they're going to have to bowl and feel out of their skins if they're really going to make a challenge of this, because the MetroPlex Tracers, they really have come out and they really have taken command of this match in the field. So we've got the final over. It's in the responsibility of Shubham Ranjan. He's bowled the first, he's going to bowl the last. In he comes. Nawaz tucks this one into the onside. A long one picks up, and it's just a single.
So basically, Shaw 2 for 29 and Kenjigi 4 for 15. He was extraordinary. So the top bowlers actually.
Yeah, Akilish Budugam also picking up a wicket, as well as bowling one of three maidens in this innings. Two bowled by the bowler you're seeing on screen, Ranjani. He's been tight, even without picking up a wicket.
He's quite a thinking bowler. He held the last ball back, and because of that, the batsman could not whip it away further. But Nawaz, who we hardly recognized earlier on, has come back to really show us that he is the important thing in this innings. He's gone 22 off just 20 balls. Slower balls. Yeah, look at that. Again, slower ball.
And a well deserved wicket for Shubham Ranjani. Really did bowl quite tightly throughout the course of this innings. That was his 18th dot ball in picking up that wicket. Economy rate of 3.30. Everything your captain needs from you, everything your side needs from you. Mixing up his pace on that occasion. Did look to be a bit of a slow ball, and the batsman deceived. A safe catch taken in the end.
Ranjani has, for the entire over, and this is what, one, two, three, four deliveries gone. He has mixed up the pace as you described it on every delivery, and most of the time he's held it back, and the batsman could not handle it. So he's a thinking bowler.
Yeah, and at this stage of the innings, it's always good to try to outsmart your opponent. This one is outside the line of the off stump, swinging away from the batter. It beats the keeper, and they scamper through for a single.
Now I was hoping that they'll get to that 100 at least, to add some decoration to what is otherwise a very miserable score. Well, not entirely, because getting to 100 is quite an achievement if you have a good bowling attack. So we'd have to wait and see what is the bowling attack of the Michigan Cricket Stars. Could they get to that 100? Doubt it. They're going back for the second, and they do.
Yeah, they finish on exactly 100. Finish on a total that they won't entirely be happy with. But they finish without being bowled out in their 20 overs nonetheless. It was a good performance by the MetroPlex Tracers. Michigan Cricket Stars, 100 for 9. That's what they would have gotten to. And they're going to have to defend that. Tracers are going to need 101 for victory when we return with the chase, Naim Chan.
Yes, good game. Nice conditions, windy, all pleasantries there to start off the 2025 tournament. So we're broadcasting from Texas, Houston, and of course the first innings there, the Metroplex winning the toss, electing to have the Michigan Cricket Stars take first strike. There's your scorecard. The top score being 24 by Kuram Nawaz, not out. And other than that, they had two scores of 15, one by Salim and the other by Sikaram. And at that stage, I thought that they would have come back with a bigger total than this, but it's not to be. So the batting not up to par, but I think in the end that they came back to at least put on some formality or decency to the batting. This is the bowling for you. The two outstanding bowlers, Kanjini, 4 for 14, and Shaw, 2 for 29. Ranjani picked up 1 for 16. Budugam had also 1. But I think from all angles and perspectives, Kanjini will be the star bowler. It's not like because he got 4 wickets, but he was deceptive. You could have seen the experience in him. So that's it from here. We're going to be joining you in a short while. 100 for 9, the Michigan Cricket Stars compiling. So in a short while, I guess we'll be having the reply from MetroPlex Tracers. See you then.
We are back with you here for the second half of this game in the minor league cricket season 2025. The Metroplex Tracers up against the Michigan Cricket Stars. And in the first half, Team Michigan only able to score exactly 100 off of their allotment of 20 overs. They would have lost 9 wickets. Yeah, after the official score was released, the total is 101. So these Tracers will need 102 for victory. And in comes Farouk to bowl the very first delivery into the pads. And it's a wicket off of the very first delivery. What a good start. It's game on. Pursuit of 102 for victory. The Metroplex Tracers, they've lost the very first wicket in the very first delivery, Naim Chan.
Well, well, well. That is what we were speculating about. If the then fielding side, batting side, now they're in the field to bowl, whether they can get a good start, they're off to it.
Yeah, we also spoke about them just giving the opposition a chance after putting themselves in such a commanding position. The very first ball, just a nothing shot really, straight into the hands of the fielder. And it's action galore. Here we see the replay. Yeah, a bit of a scoop. Not really looking to maximize that stroke and losing his wicket in doing so.
Well, it's never too late, right? Had a bad bit of batting. You're coming back, and what a way to start. First delivery, and you're on your way. Tomala, who was exceptionally good with his bowling. I don't know how well he'll come here and show his batting proficiency, but let's wait and see what happens.
Good start here by Umar Farouk. Picking up the wicket of Joshua Trump in the very first delivery. And a good catch by Patak supporting his bowler.
What a beauty! Beauty! We'd seen a few of those too, one or two from Shaw when he was bowling. And now this side, the batting side is bowling. Absolutely beautiful delivery. Just almost right on target, leaving the right handed batsman. What a good over this is.
Yeah, way movement angling towards that slip fielder. They've now got 2 slips in place, as well as what looks like a leg slip, a short, fine leg.
I wonder if President Trump sees how this Trump got out. In the first delivery, he might very well ask him, can you change your name? Not a good delivery there from Farouk. Really cutting back. So he's getting the ball to come back into the right-handed batsman and also going away.
Well, luckily for Joshua, his name is spelled with an O instead of a U. Otherwise, that change might have been forced, perhaps.
Knowing President Trump, I give you up to 1 o'clock today and just have that changed. Because Trump is a great name. So 2 slips. Good over here, Farouk. And I like to see the aggression that I'm seeing because the fielding side, it's not like they have a lot of artillery to be aggressive. You can't really afford an aggressive field because of the amount of runs you put up. So what you do, and that's what exactly they're doing, I'm going to start off with some aggression. I'm going to put in the slips there, get the batsman on the back foot, and let's hope he gets something going. And they got a wicket. Why not? That should carry all the way. The ball is new, blading off the bat. And so it's going to carry towards the boundary. So that's the end of over number one. For the loss of one. Good start by the bowling side.
Yeah, a bit of a streaky shot there off of the bat of Tumala. 4 runs nonetheless. The very first boundary of the innings. The very first runs on the board. Good start by Umar Farouk. And after 1 over, the MetroPlex Tracers are 4 for 1. This match is shaping up to be a low-scoring thriller. Remember, batting first, the Michigan Cricket Stars are only able to muster a measly 101 for 9 off of their allotment of 20, but they've started well. In defense of such a small total, they've picked up a wicket with the very first delivery. Umar Farouk rising to the occasion. What can the rest of his teammates do in support? Where's the next bit of brilliance going to come from? Is it going to be a spark in the field, a good catch, a brilliant run out? Who's going to put up their hands to say, I want to do something special for my team here today?
Or on the other side, the flip side, a couple of sixes. But that's what cricket is all about.
Driven and driven handsomely. It's one of the shots you love to see, straight out of the textbook. Extra cover and just shy of the boundary in the end. Yeah, the ball just holding up there, Naeem.
Yeah, I don't think from this vantage point that it reached the ropes. Just stopped short of it.
Nonetheless, quite a gorgeous shot from the batsman Boj.
Sorry, that's what I expect from my number 1, 2, 3, 4 batsmen. Extras, that's one thing the bowlers would have to be told. I don't want any no balls. I don't want wides. Why do you have to bowl a wide? We got 100 runs to defend. Now let's get about it in the best and the smartest way.
Yeah, left arm spin into the left arm batter is starting just on the line of that demarcated area and continuing to go away. So the umpire has no choice but to signal wide. You've got to come in a bit closer, Mr. Kadri.
I would like to see the captain or another colleague just keep talking to Kadri. Listen, keep working at it. You can do this. Another one. This is not good. And no one is coming forward to have a little talk with him. Or not only a talk, but a little moral booster, so to speak. You can do this. Just concentrate.
Seems to be working towards a plan. He seems to want to bowl that wide off stump line, but just lacking a bit of control at this stage. Remember, that line belongs to the umpire. It is a guide, but if he feels as though You're too far beyond it. He's well within his rights to call a wide. This one goes down the leg side. We're going to wait for the signal. Picked up on the fine leg boundary. What does the umpire reckon?
So look at the bottom of where Quadri's name is. He's first delivery 2 runs, then a wide, a wide, a wide, and 2. Not good.
Yeah, a couple of runs off the bat on that previous delivery. Just 2 legitimate deliveries so far, and he comes. And that is more like it. That's where he wants to be landing. That's the chance he wants to create. A bit of activity for that slipped fielder.
And what Quadri would obviously do is to put the batsmen in comfort zone, giving them space to find their rhythm, to assess the pitch and the bounce. So you're giving them time for that. And that's why you don't want wides and no balls.
Yeah, most definitely. You're also consuming more energy than you would like in one over, having to re-bowl deliveries.
Look at that scene behind the side screen. Beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of lush trees adding to the scene of the lovely cricket ground in Texas.
Oh, this is very picturesque. Oh, come on there, Quadri. I think we got to say goodbye to you after this over.
Really can ill afford this. Not too many runs to play with. Got to be spot on from the get-go under these circumstances. Can he come back strongly? Can he pick up a wicket here after bowling just about 4 wide so far, Quadri?
What I know, he may not have another over because the fielding side can't afford this, but nice shot. Punched away. Ah, Bodge, that's beautiful. And no amount of pressure must make a number 3, the 2 openers, number 3 and number 4, batsmen struggle. They find a way of batting. That's what I like to see from my top order.
Yeah, that's how they earn their living. That's how they make their bread and butter, scoring runs at the top of the order. A lot of these top order batsmen would have been through so many different match situations, Naim. So correctly so, they really shouldn't be getting flustered. Should have enough experience, enough match time to be able to adjust and adapt when necessary. Yeah, sadly, almost 2 overs in one on that occasion. Match summary. Kenjigi really was brilliant first up for the Metroplex Tracers. 4 for 14 is what he got. Ably supported by Akhtar Shah. Umar Farouk picking up a wicket in this very first delivery in defense of this total of 101 for the Michigan Cricket Stars. But his partner, Abdullah Quadri, did not display as much control as he did. Quite a few wides and conceded 13 runs in his very first over.
And I guess the batsmen are cognizant of the fact that they've got nothing to hustle for. If they can stay there, even displaying some complacency, turn the strike around, pick up the singles, the ones and the twos, and you're getting home there pretty safely. Good delivery, Farouk. He's had a splendid over, the first over.
Fortunately, overstepping the mark there, Naeem. So a no ball signaled, and now a free hit that Mr. Boj is going to have to face up to. And he's going to be chomping at the bit to earn himself a maximum off of this one.
So, looking at this game, you'd understand in your analysis that there's one problem that we're seeing. Bowlers are bowling too many wides, in particular wides. Free hit and taken freely, thumped away. Good shot there. Boj not hesitating whatsoever. He's quite a fluent batsman, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly what you do with a free hit. Gift on offer. Thank you very much. Umar Farouk, 6 runs. Ansh Boj looking to get a move on here. His team, they don't require a mammoth total. They only need 102.
But when you have overwhelming confidence, like when I look at the great stars, and you're seeing a spot of it here in Boj, when you're a confident batsman, you hardly mind the circumstances. You will beat a bowling even when your side is on the back foot. And Boj has been fluent, although the instructions, I'm pretty clear, came out not because it's 100 runs. We're going to go like a bullet train behind it. Keep your wicket, cruise, let's get there. But he's not pretty obedient, is he? Because of the confidence that he has.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of the good T20 batters, they just choose to play the natural game regardless of the match situation.
Good comeback, Farouk.
Ansh Boj looks to be naturally aggressive at the top of the order.
It's good to see the promptness and strictness, if you like, of the administration of the game. We started promptly. The lunch break was, or the change around of the innings was prompt. They're sticking to their rules, aren't they?
Yeah, features of a well-organized event, as this one is stopped right on the stumps by Boj. Scamper through for a quick single, get there in the end. And the score, it now moves up to 25 for 1. Tumala, he's now on strike. He looks to be a good all-around cricketer. He's batting at number 3 after he would have bowled quite well. In all fairness, most of the MetroPlex Tracers bowlers did bowl well. What can he do with the bat? Into the body by Farouk. Tapped into the leg side and a single. Minor league cricket here. The 2025 season is just about underway. And these players looking to make their presence felt in the early stages.
Well, Boj has been pretty impressive, hasn't he? He's timing the ball, getting in position. Nice little demeanor there. He's flashing this time just to the left of the solitary slip.
Yeah, just about the second occasion that a bit of an edge was found, but just evading that fielder a bit. 27 runs on the board. One delivery left to complete over number 3. Can Farouk finish strong? Can Tumala get a boundary? He drives looking for that boundary. And it's a miss outside the line of the off stump. Keeper might have seemed a bit interested, but the umpire calls over, and after 3, MetroPlex Tracers, they're on 27 for 1.
Are they gradually getting into comfort zone, the batting side? Started off pretty shakily, I must say. First delivery, losing a wicket, and then coming back with some measure of authority. They're batting with a lot of confidence. We saw the struggles that the Chicago cricket stars had, but these guys are quite rightly so flowing. I think I said Chicago a short while ago. Michigan cricket stars. I think I'm getting hungry, right, Delvin?
It was definitely that time of the afternoon. A bit of lunch just might be on the agenda very soon. And just as you would have suspected, Abdullah Quadri was taken out of the attack. And now we have Mr. Salim, also showed promise with the bat. What can he do with the ball?
Yeah, he was pretty elegant. Quite possibly the most of the kind of elegance that I'd seen the best in this game so far. And this youngster looks so as well. Boj, very flowing, fluent, fluid also.
Yeah, really does look to be a good player. Good in defense. He's played a few attacking strokes so far that really did come out of the middle of the bat. This time he's cutting, and he's cutting well. Pass backward point. 4 runs off the bat of Boj. He's on the move here. Looking to end this innings as expeditiously as he possibly can. Rocking back on that one. Too much room on offer. Mr. Booth saying thank you very much.
Hey, he's quite a handful for a batsman. That's a good shot. Good because it was short, it was outside the off stump, and he hauled it around, so to speak. A word designed by me. And just in case you're saying that I don't sound very authentic with the language, but I like the word haul because he's tugging it from way outside the off stump down into the leg side field. Ah, beauty. Beauty, Salim. Good comeback.
Enticing. Great stuff here from Mohammed Salim. Wow, how did that miss the off stump? It didn't. Yeah, a bit of a delayed celebration. I was wondering if it was a close call, but bold, in fact, just clipping that off stump. Mohamed Waka Salim into the attack and doing exactly what Umar Farouk was able to do, picking up a wicket. The score moves up to 33 for 2.
That's a good wicket to get. This guy looks dangerous. But that one kept a little bit low also, and it actually went straight through with a little tinge of coming into the stumps.
Yeah, I didn't even think Salim realized that it had hit the stump.
Yeah, the celebration was delayed, came up a little late.
He put his hands on his head in a bit of anguish, but he didn't realize he actually did complete the job, striking wood. And a wicket to his name. Well bowled, Mohamed Salim.
It's the kind of cricket match that I love to see or love to describe. Like I'm in a bad way now. In a few overs, I'm in a good way. I'm on top. And then back again, I'm in a bad way again. And it swings like a pendulum. That's cricket.
And that's why we love the gentleman's sport so much. A game that changes so frequently. Look at the match summary here. 101 for 9. That's what the Michigan Cricket Stars got. Well below par, but they're fighting. They really are fighting here. Naim Chan picking up 2 early wickets. They're going to want a few more. Luckily for them, able to pick up the important wicket of Boj, who seemed to be looking good.
Oh yes, I like the way looks very compact in the air. But that's gone all the way. Now, Ranjani, I'm not going to take this lightly. What do you think at all? We don't have batsmen. He's off the mark already.
It looks to be Tumala who is actually at the crease, facing up to his 8th delivery, hitting that one quite handsomely for boundary.
Yes, correction. And Tumala just had a few deliveries to face, so he's settling in already. He pulls his bat behind his pads, so he knew exactly what he was doing. Remember the days of Jimmy Adams? And then his name changed to Jimmy Paddams. I had the great pleasure of describing him. What a fantastic worker of the game.
Yeah, solid in defense. He was not lured into playing shots when it wasn't absolutely necessary.
But Jimmy Adams was really engrossed in his training and all of that. At Sabina Park, you would see and hear about him. He was pursuing medicine and asked for permission to stay 2 years off of studies. If he doesn't make the West Indies side, he'll go back and study. He made it. I remember describing a game there where he got 100 at the Red Stripe tournament. And a bit of gunshots were fired around the stands too, Jamaican style.
Big appeal. Not playing any shot. So even though struck outside the line of the off stump, the bowler was still asking the question. Umpire not interested.
The weather conditions are holding out so nicely. And if you look at the shirts of the cricketers, t-shirt, yeah, they're still fluttering. So you know that it's still pretty windy. So gorgeous conditions. 5 overs gone, 2 for 39.
A run rate required of 7.80. And if the Michigan Cricket Stars are honest with themselves, they're going to know that it's going to be difficult to win this game just by restricting these Metroplex chasers. They're going to have to bowl them out. So wickets are going to have to come from somewhere. Aryan Tumala currently unbeaten on 10. Shubham Ranjane good with the ball. He's currently unbeaten on 1 off of 3 deliveries. The big wicket of Ansh Boj was looking good. It's gone for 23.
When I was a younger man, and I mean, that's a very, very, very long time ago, I always wanted to become a caretaker of a cricket ground, but I just love to look at the lush green grass, well manicured, and really great work there, fellas. Tamala finding his way in. He's got 10 off 10. I think he's settling in well. So this game has been swinging around, both sides. This side coming in to chase 101 to win the game. And they started off a bit bad and lost 2 wickets, but 40 runs on the board. So the fielding side, they would continue to need wickets. That's the only way they'll win. But not like this one, wide down the leg side.
Yeah, they need the wickets and they need to minimize those extras. Can be bowling wides and no balls. Tumala just about set. Got himself into double figures. Into over number 6. And a quick single. Good running. And a good way to get yourself off strike and keep the scoreboard ticking.
That's what I wasn't seeing from the fielding side when they were batting. Because their backs were against the wall, what you do is you don't want to be extravagant and lose more wickets. So you have to get singles, ones and twos. And I mean, at the end of the over, you can still get 6, 8, 12, 10 runs by taking those chances. Beautiful. Off the meat of the bat. And that's gone. Nice shot there, Ranjani.
Yeah, lovely cut stroke. Good hands. Beating the fielder and crashing into the boundary ropes.
But look at that, the beauty of this game. When MetroPlex were fielding, you thought that they had this game. And then all of a sudden, the Michigan Cricket Stars, they've come in, they've displayed some good batsmanship. From one extravagant shot to another, this one is straight down the ground. That's going to go all the way towards the side screen.
Yeah, just one delivery shy of 6 overs. And the MetroPlex Tracers finding themselves just about halfway of where they should be in pursuit of a total of 102.
And at this rate, they'll get there at 10 overs. They're going just short of 10.
And something that's also important to consider as this over comes to an end and the 6th over finishes on 51 for 2. In the early stages of a tournament, especially when you've got low totals to chase, you want to be able to, even without being careless or reckless, you want to be able to win as quickly as you can, just in the interest of supporting your net run rate, because we know in the later stages of the tournament, points and placements, they're largely dependent on those net run rates ever so often.
Oh boy, tell me about that. I've seen teams qualifying from nowhere because of net run rate. So it's a very, very important point. If you can win and win in good time, and that's good for you. And that's your bowling. A wicket for Salim. Wicket for Farouk. I can't stop looking at the ecosystem back of this ground. Fantastic.
And it looks to be a venue that perhaps still has a bit of room for development if they want to enhance this location to accommodate some more seating.
That's the kind of running. Excellent. A stab, and you're conscious. You're thinking away for the run, although the fielder is in the way and very short. That's excellent. That's what the other side, the fielding side, needed to do. And they were batting.
Yeah, top stuff on that occasion.
They almost went for one. That's stealing something that was not available to be stolen. But that's the kind of running I'm talking about that I wanted to see when the fielding side, when they were batting. When you're in a dilemma, that's how you keep the scoreboard going.
Another single. Zishan Maksud into his second over. He's just conceded 8 runs so far. Left arm orthodox style of bowling we see employed quite a lot these days.
Maksud is not giving it a lot of air. We saw Tomala, especially when he was fielding, was giving it a lot of air, looming and enticing the batsman. He's pushing it through pretty quickly. He wants to keep the scoring rate down. Short. Can't get to the boundary.
And still a bit of turn on offer, even bowling at a bit of a higher pace than some of the other spinners we would have seen.
Yes, you can appeal. I'll go for runs in the meanwhile. The batsmen are pretty focused, aren't they? Leg by signal. But while the bowler was appealing, they nudged it around the corner, or not nudged it, came off the pads, and they were busily running. That's the idea. End of 7, 5, 6 for 2.
Yeah, and rightly so. These batters definitely looking to make the most of every opportunity. We did see a few missed opportunities from the Michigan Cricket Stars when they were batting. A couple of twos, essentially. Could have been twos that, they were just contented to run one. And a lot of coaches would tell you, as it relates to your running between the wickets, you need to run that first one hard. You need to show intent on that first run and keep yourself ready in the event of a misfield or an overthrow. $56 for 2, 13 overs to come.
Not a lot of runs to get. You can see the pitch is being painted now in what direction the game is going, and that's to the batting side. Good control from the batsman, lifting delivery. He could have swiped at it to get an outside edge. Instead, he got up on his toes and gently just making it skid off the bat. I used to like looking at Suresh Daniram. He's now living in the United States, former West Indies B batsman and Guyana batsman at the national level, of course, regional level. But he had that tendency of climbing up on his toes and defending a lifting ball from the likes of Joel Garner and playing it right in front of him. That was an awesome technique.
Yeah, most definitely heard a lot about Suresh Daniram, his quality. Kadri's bowling to Tumala, and this one beats him outside the line of the off stump. My oh my, how did that not clip the outside edge?
I was wondering how Quadri, he's been brought back into the attack, sending one over down for 14 runs. Still, he's given a chance. And so this is telling you something about the strength of the bowling side. A bowler that started off with 14, with about 4 wides, I think, in that over. He's lucky to have another chance here. Now look at good running there. It's all open there, open territory. And so you can just utilize. And as you mentioned, very important that they win with a good net run rate. But these batsmen have been very sober-headed. They've taken the chance when the ball was pitched up or short. We saw that from Boj in particular. And still, they can be cautious, but they're utilizing the space around the open environment to score, keep the scoreboard going with cheeky singles.
And this one gets past the man at extra cover, turns and chases. The ball plugging up just inside of the boundary rope. And 2 additional runs to the total off the bat of Shubham Ranjani. Yeah, these 2 batters don't seem to be too concerned as it relates to the required run rate. They seem to be happy just to put themselves in a position to firstly win this game. Those 101 runs that the Michigan Cricket Stars would have achieved, it wasn't easy by any means, so we know that batting can be a bit tricky.
Short in the air, got it on top of the bat, but it seems as though it's landed pretty safely based on what we can see.
Yeah, the fielder looks to be signaling 6. The umpire has signaled no ball. So it looks to be a 7-run delivery that has to be re-bowled, and more importantly, a free hit now on offer.
Quadri is living up to his reputation from the first over.
Yeah, he's gone for 12 so far. He went for 13 in his first. leaking runs here, Squadry. This one is driven into the offside once again. Superfielder comes around, and 2 comfortable runs in the end. A good over here from the Metroplex Tracers.
Well, if the captain of the fielding side, Michigan Cricket Stars, doesn't take off Quadri, it means he really is short on bowlers. He took him off first, tried with him again. He's not coming to scratch.
Yeah, not having a good day. He is in the side as a strike bowler. In recent times, we've seen a lot of left-arm pacers get a lot of success in T20 cricket. He's the one given the responsibility in this Michigan Cricket Star side with the new ball. Not really fulfilling the demand today, though, Naeem, so far at least.
Just not his day, perhaps. There's some days that you just don't get it right. And Quadri is spot on not getting it right.
Yeah, way too short to end the over. And Shubham Ranjani says, thank you very much. I'm going to help myself to a maximum and finish this over with quite a handsome 6. I'm going to take 20 from you, Mr. Kadri. And now after 2 overs, you would have conceded 33 runs. And we move up to 76 for 2. Eight overs completed. The Metroplex Tracers in cruise control here. They need 102 runs for victory. So just an additional 26 to get off of 12 overs. 2.17 runs required. And essentially, this should be a walk in the park.
Walk in a beautiful park, too. Look at the picture there. I like that word, cruise control. That's the mode in which the batting side has found itself. Cruise control. So I guess this game actually, Delvin, will finish a little earlier than we had anticipated. So we might have some extra time on our hands to enjoy and relax until we wait on game number 2. And game number 2 is Dallas X-Foria against Chicago Tigers.
Yeah, that should be exciting as well. All of these teams looking to get themselves on the board in the early stages of the tournament. Players looking to make the most of early opportunities given to them, not only to remain active as players in this tournament, but to get a bit of consideration for some of the other tournaments, both in the US and outside.
I see Dallas X-Foria Giants. They have, and that caught the attention of my eyes. They have written up on their profile, they have a heavy focus on youths, young talent. I loved when I read that. I love what I see here too. Another maximum. And it's just getting out of the hands of the fielding side.
Yeah, Tumala joining the party now.
In Guyana, we would say that's right up in the sweet spot.
Mohamed Waka Salim. Not the result he would have wanted. Maximum being struck off of his second delivery from his second over. Comes back with a dot ball. Just an additional 20 runs to get for these Metroplex Tracers. They're scoring currently at a run rate of 9.65.
I wonder what must be going through the fielding side minds. They must be saying, Lord, we've lost this one. Good ball, just missing the outside edge to Mala.
Yeah, the fat lady may not be singing as yet, but she just may be calling for the band to strike up the key. What key is that? Maybe F minor. A bit of somber music in order for such a mauling and a big defeat here. Still not over as yet, but really looks to be signed, sealed, and almost delivered for the MetroPlex Tracers.
Yes, the writing is on the wall. And so they've spotted disasters staring at them. Their scorecard there. You don't have much more to go in this game. It's going to be over in a while. Aryan Tumala, 21. Shubham Ranjani, 30 from 16. Quite enterprising knock. So they need 19 with lots of overs in hand.
Yeah, Tumala is a good find. He's batting well so far. He would have also bowled 3 overs for just 21 runs, so a good all-rounder.
Come, Maxud. You've got to do something here.
Yeah, into his third. Not quite able to pick up a wicket as yet. Left arm orthodox. Into Tumala. Straight to the fielder.
And this is what I like to see, not because the batting side is in a dominant mood, that you're not energized as a fielder. Stop the ball, get the returns in, and keep putting the batsman on the pressure, even if it's for the camera. And the analysts describing you, just keep the pressure, if you can, as much as possible.
Yeah, telling from the body language of the players, they themselves are looking as though they're starting to believe that this game is just about over for them. As Shubham Ranjani brings out the reverse sweep. Straight to the fielder in the end. But a good and disciplined performance from the MetroPlex Tracers. Having dismissed the Michigan Cricket Stars for 101, they didn't let up. They did lose a few early wickets. Nonetheless, a good partnership here from Tumala and Ranjani, all but securing what will eventually be an emphatic victory.
And a deserving one, too. I think they bowled well when they were in the field. They have come back. This is quite a formidable side. Lots of good bowlers.
Cut shot. Picked up by the man on the boundary. Really just milking it right now. All the way to the finish line. 10 overs completed. 86 runs already on the board.
Something strange. I'm not seeing them taking the 2 minutes or so off at the halfway mark, 10 overs. Maybe a little drink, a little discussion. But what is there to discuss, Delvin? What are you going to say as the fielding side? We lose this. We're about to lose it. There's nothing much to discuss.
Yeah, most of these players may be looking to discuss their approach for the next fixture. given that this game may in fact be concluded a lot sooner than they would have anticipated. The opportunity might present itself to do some video watching as it relates to your opponents who you got to come up to later on in this tournament. Just get some background work in. Getting off to a losing start, got to find a way to bounce back and get yourself back into the tournament.
Oh, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. It's gone over the top. Well, if they're going to look back at videos, the Michigan Cricket Stars, there you go, high up in the air, on the hop. One of the things I'd like to correct in the future is the running between the wickets. That was quite dull. They were in a terrible state and they were not creating the environment to take cheeky singles and just keep the scoreboard ticking. They were all overrun. They were all overrun, the Stars. They were not seeking, they were just defending their wickets and losing them too while defending.
And a brilliant uppercut there from Tumala. Something Oscar De La Hoya would be proud of.
Just check at that. After this guy defended that ball, although it's going to the bowler, they were already thinking about a single. That's what I'm talking about. That the Michigan Cricket Stars didn't do.
Yeah, good observation. Two almost contrasting approaches from the two sides in terms of the running between the wickets. One team eager to run the first one hard and look for any opportunity for a second. The other, a bit of lackadaisical effort between the wickets, if we're to be honest. Wide outside the line of the off stump. The umpire is unmoved, so a good ball, I guess, a dot ball in favor of Umar Farouk into his third over. He's picked up 1 wicket so far for 20 runs. Just an additional 10 runs required for the MetroPlex Chasers to complete quite a commanding victory here today.
And I'm very sorry, Michigan Cricket Stars. You can't get my compliment that easy. I think you were run over by MetroPlex. Ambitious swish outside the off stump, not getting the edge, and you can see that Atamula is disgusted with himself. It was short. He should have seen that, should have been able to get some bat onto it. He just missed it completely.
Yeah, disappointed in himself there that he didn't get some bat on that. Tumala. Just going to put that behind him. Not really under any pressure. And of course, this game is happening at the Prairie View ground in Houston, Texas, and a few other fixtures happening simultaneously as well, as this one is beautifully bowled outside the line of the off stump. It beats Tumala, who's been there for quite a while, still not able to do anything with that one. Just a peach of a delivery from Umar Farouk.
But he was looking, staring at something. I don't know what it is, but you were, for 2 consecutive deliveries, you were absolutely beaten by Farouk. Good bowling. Suffice to say, a little bit late.
Yeah, we've got the East Bay Blazers currently in action against the San Diego Surf Riders. Blazers batting first on 26 for 3. Also batting first, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. They find themselves on 28 for 1 against the Philadelphians.
So the organizers had to tighten up the tournament schedule. I think they got started a little bit late. So they had to contract the tournament because many of the cricketers would have assignments with outside leagues and championships. We've got things like the CPL coming up. Well, not coming up in Guyana, that leg, but it has started a while ago. They're now in Trinidad and Tobago doing battle. Michigan Cricket Stars there. Nawaz 25. Sikaram, just he didn't stay around for a while, long enough. 15. Salim, who also looked in good touch, 15. Down the ground, getting to the pitch of it. But there's someone there. I can't stop looking at the outskirts of this ground. Beautiful.
Is that another playing ground just beyond?
Yes, sir. Actually, there are four. It seems to me, I think there are four venues. Slug swept all the way. Maximum victory in sight.
Another maximum off of the bat of Tumala. Really does look to be a well-rounded cricketer.
But that one was so slow. He had the batsman, Tumala, had the opportunity or the time, may I say, to drag it from off stick all the way on the leg side.
Yeah, just an additional 3 runs required to complete this victory here today. And the Tracers will be leaving this venue feeling quite contented with their performance, both with the bat and in the field, despite losing a couple of wickets. You know, good enough run chase, and also brilliant bowling performance to, in fact, restrict Michigan to a total of just 101. Zishan Maksud, he's in. Wide of the off stump, Tumalis cutting once again straight to the fielder on the boundary, just a single.
Brings up the 100, actually. So just 2 runs short. And they're going to complete this quite possibly in 12 overs, maybe going over to over number 13. But a good display here. I think the better team has won, at least from what we saw, the performance.
Yeah, scores are leveled. And that really is the case in most of these tournaments. It's not a matter of which team is better on paper. It's just a matter of which team is in a better position to execute on any given day. This one is in the air. The fielder comes around. He's not going to be able to save it. And that's the end of the match. Commanding victory for the MetroPlex Tracers here at the Prairie View Ground in Houston, Texas, and recording their first victory in the Minor League Cricket 2025.
Well, there you go. It's just time to pack up and go home or go back to your hotel, your home, your place of rest. And a good match here to the winners, MetroPlex Tracers. That's your scorecard there for you. Boj was looking extremely good. He went for 23. Trump, not Donald Trump by chance, Trump. He went for a duck, and these 2 batsmen took it home. Tumala and the other batsman, Ranjani. Tumala 36 not out, Ranjani 33. That's your bowling figures there. So not much to talk about because just 2 wickets fell. And Farouk getting 1 and Salim getting the other. So it was a good game. The winner was obviously known from the time they took to the crease. They bowled better, they batted better, and they're no doubt deservingly to be the champs.
Yeah, and when we look at the match summary, a very forgettable performance from the Michigan Cricket Stars. They're going to look to put this one behind them. And of course, look for those learning points coming out of this fixture. Nawaz top scored with 25 off of 21. Shikaram did look to have a bit of class. He made 15 at a run of ball and 15 also to Salim, who looked well with the bat. But it was Kenjigi, 4 for 14, brilliantly dismissing 4 of the key batters on the Michigan side. Akhtar Shaw also picked up 2 wickets of 29 runs, and Budagam 1 for 2. And in the run chase, it was all about Tumala and Ranjani. 42 for Tumala off of 37, 33 for Shubham Ranjani. Salim and Farouk picking up a wicket apiece, and a handsome 8-wicket victory for the Metroplex Tracers here.
Good. That's the story here from the Prairie View Cricket Complex. So we'll be joining you again in just about an hour when Dallas Exploria Giants take on Chicago Tigers. I hope you have a nice game then. You can have a little rest, a little walk around. We'll join you soon.